money, 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 money.
Hello, welcome to the second episode of Save Your Sundays. If you've not seen the first episode, I'm going to encourage you to go to YouTube right now. I talk about who I am and why I'm doing this and all of my credentials. So check it out on YouTube, Save Your Sundays. My name is Michael Pratt. I'm with Semler Financial Group. I'm a financial consultant. If you saw the first video, you understand why I'm here. This is about education. This is about helping people understand finance and some of the things that affect your financial future. So, what we're going to talk about today? Well, today's topic is credit. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story about credit because actually it has to do with a credit card. I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed by it, but it just gives you some kind of scope of how people don't understand how credit or credit cards may work. I was 22 years old, got my first American Express card, went to a bar in Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. I was of age. Everything was great. Walked up to the bar, ordered a beer, was going to slap down my American Express and pay for it. And I saw the sign behind the bar as the bartender turned away, and it said $10 minimum charge on all credit cards. So the bartender comes back. I asked him how much a beer was. He said $2. I said, then I'm going to need $5. And he goes, I don't understand. I said, well, it's a $10 minimum charge on all credit cards. And he's like, hey, man, you could rack it up at the end of the night. There you go. So why did I tell you that story? Well, first of all, it gives you an understanding of how difficult credit is and what people don't understand it and how it can affect them. So today we're not necessarily going to dig into credit cards, but we're just going to talk about credit in general. First thing you need to know, there are three major credit bureaus that are used today. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Why do people go to those? Well, they use them to check what is called your credit history. Now, you say, well, how do I get credit history? Well, there are a couple things that FICO uses, which FICO is actually the Fair Isaac Corporation. 90% of the lenders use this methodology for compiling credit scores. And so some people just don't understand, well, what's in my credit score? How does it, what are the things that affect my credit? Well, let's talk about that. There are 5 major things that affect your credit. Number 1, payment history. Now, you could say, well, I pay my light bill all the time. Well, you don't really look at light bills as a creditor per se that will go on a major credit report. But let's say you have a car payment, you have a loan through Penske, Honda, or Chevrolet or whoever, right? They're a little plug out to my buddy Brett Rosie over at Penske, Chevrolet, and Honda. You should go see him. Anyway, payment history, right? So car payments, right? Outstanding balances. So if you have a credit card of $10,000 limit, you have an outstanding balance of $8,000, what kind of effect that have on your credit score? Well, that's 80% credit utilization. Not so good. How long have you had credit? So people go out and they open up a credit card and they have it for 2 months and they go, oh, great, I have credit. Well, that's not enough of a history. So you want to establish a little bit of a history. How many credit cards you're applying for? So every time you apply for credit, it hits your credit report. Now, there are things such as soft hits and there are things such as hard hits. For example, let's go back to the car situation. If you're going to go apply for a car loan, well, the finance manager at the car loan will run your credit and they will test it to see how many different lenders you can qualify with. Well, that is one hit, right? That's a hard hit to your credit. However, it's only one hard hit. It's not a hard hit every time they go to a different lender. Those are what they refer to as soft hits. So they do one major inquiry and then they fly it out to a couple different lenders. So again, the number of applications that you put in will certainly affect your credit score. The types of credit that you have, meaning do you have credit with a mortgage lender? Do you have credit with an automobile dealership? Do you have type of credit with a major credit card? All of those things combined, FICO says, hey, this is going to be, quote unquote, your score based on those 5 criteria. Now, you say to yourself, well, what's the score range, Michael? Well, that's a great question. Score can range anywhere from 300 to 800, okay? What's the average score today? Average score is somewhere between 600 and 750. Every credit bureau has a different number. However, the ranges are very similar. So if you have poor credit or fair credit or good credit, somewhere your range, the number will be between 600 and 750. However, it may be a different number, but the actual classification of that number will be the same. Does that make sense? So let me say that again. You could have a 650 with one credit bureau. You could have a 700 with a different credit bureau. However, still have a fair or good credit score. So the numbers aren't identical. Why would they be? It's 3 different reports, 3 different sources. So that's what we have for today. I hope this is helpful for you. Like I said, our goal is strictly educational. We want to make sure that you understand what you're dealing with as it relates to your financial wellness, because after all, I'm here to help you save your Sundays. This is Michael Pratt from the Save Your Sunday studio. Be well, stay well.
Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.